Hello everyone. Today we are going to study class 10 geography chapter 1, that is resources and development. In the first part we will study about resources, water resources, and in the second part we will study the development by the resources. The chapter starts with the question, that is, can you identify and name the various items used in making life comfortable in our villages and towns? List the items and name the material used in their making. So, this is your question, and you have to answer the question. So, let's begin with the intro of this chapter. That is, everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is a technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as a resource. So here is a important definition for that what is a resource, and you must highlight it once, that everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as a resource. Okay. If you wish that I should highlight it in a dark color, so I will this, because this definition is a very important definition of the chapter. Okay. So everything available in our environment, like take an example, you can understand easily by an example. Like, um, yes, like books. They are available in our environment. Yes, they satisfy our needs. Yes, if you want to be educated, read books, you will be educated. So education is your need, and books satisfy your need. They are technologically accessible. Yes, you can also study in the screen or buy it from a shop. Okay, economically feasible. Yes, every book, uh, every book gives you something like to learn, and it's feasible. Okay, like this class in geography book is also feasible, is very affordable, and is very important. And if you read this book, you'll learn so much things from this about the geography. And culturally acceptable. Books are culturally acceptable, yes. Every culture, every religion says that you should be educated and you should take education. Every person must take education. Okay. So hence, books accept all these conditions required to become a resource. So hence, books are a resource. Take any example in your environment, like air. Air is available in our environment. It satisfies our needs. Our need is we have to survive, and we have to take air, or you can say oxygen. So it satisfies our needs. It's technologically accessible. Yes, economically feasible. Like air don't takes anything from you. Okay, so it's obviously feasible. and it's culturally acceptable. Air is not like it's culturally acceptable. It's not related to any culture, any religion. It's present in our environment, so it's a resource. Okay, so understand understood the about resource by two examples, books and air. You can take any of the exam. Okay, the process the process of transformation of things available in our environment involves an interactive relationship between nature, technology, and institutions. Human beings interact with nature through technology and create institutions to accelerate their economic development. Do you think that resources are free gifts of nature as is assumed by many? They are not. Resources are a function of human activities. Human beings themselves are essential components of resources. They transform material available in our environment into resources and use them. These resources can be classified in the following ways. Okay. So what is written here is that wood. Wood in its normal form is not have much uses. Like it's only used as for burning or as a fuel, fuel in rural areas. But if human beings transform it with the help of make institutions and accelerate the wood into furniture, furniture is a more usable form than wood. You can and wood is also made for using for making buildings. Okay, so human beings are also a kind of resource, and by these resources human beings create such type of resources that they accelerate their economic development. So hence resource and development are interrelated. Okay, then the question is, do you think that resources are free gifts of nature as is assumed by many? No, they are not free gifts of nature. They are a function of human activities. Human beings themselves are essential component of resource like wood. Wood is present in its natural form. Suppose that there are no human beings. So how it is converted by wood to furniture or by wood to making buildings, building houses? So human beings are essential component of resources. They transform materials available in our environment into resources and use them. These resources can be classified in the following ways. They are classified by on the basis of many aspects. So firstly, they are classified on the basis of origin. Biotic and abiotic. Biotic are living and abiotic are non-living resources. B, on the basis of exhaustibility, like they are limited in nature or unlimited in nature. Renewable resources, renewable and non-renewable. That renewable are unlimited in nature and non-renewable are limited in nature. How can you remember this? Re, you have to break this word renewable. Okay, it will break into re plus new plus able. Re, it means again. Again, new means new. New means new. And able means that it can be. So, renewable resources are resources that can be, that if they never get exhausted. Okay, if they are exhausted, they can come again in the environment. Okay, so they can again become new. they can again become new. Okay, so that's a renewable, and non-renewable that cannot again become new. Okay. Okay, then again it's on the basis of ownership: individual, community, national, and international. Individual means one person, community means more than two or more than 2%, national means like a country, and international means so many countries or a chain between countries. Okay, D is on the basis of status of development: potential, developed stock, and reserves. Okay, so this is the flow chart of classification of resources. Resources are firstly classified into natural and human. Natural are classified of renewable and non-renewable. Human are classified into structures and institutions, and quantity and quality. Renewable resources are classified into continuous or flow, and second is biological. Biological are classified into natural vegetation and wildlife. Non-renewable are classified into recyclable metals and non-recyclable, recyclable and non-recyclable. Okay, so this is classification of resources. Here is a pyramid: physical environment, human beings, technology, also human beings, and human beings also make institutions. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic, that is development of resources. Resources are vital for human survival, yes, as well as for maintaining the quality of life. Okay, like if you have a house, okay, let's understand by an example. You have house, an empty house you live in. Okay, you don't have bed, you don't have any chair, you don't have any table, you don't have any fan. Okay, you don't have any clothes. If you have bed, your quality of life is increased, quality of life is better than before. You sleep on bed, you normally sit on bed. Then you have chair, so you don't sit on bed, you sit on chair, so your quality of life is better than before. You have table, so you don't keep tea or anything that you eat in bed, you keep in it in table, so your quality of life is better than before. You have fan, so you don't make such things to have cool air. You have a fan, you switch on, the fan is on, and you get a cool air. You have clothes, so your quality of life is better than before. You can go outside, meet other peoples if you have clothes. Okay, so resources are vital for human survival, and obviously it they better the quality of life. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. It was believed before that resources are free gifts of nature. As a result, human beings use them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problems. First major problem is depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of a few individual. Like there are in a country there are 20 peoples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 people. Suppose that there are 10 people. And six of them, no, seven of them are of four of them are poor, three are middle class, and the remaining three, not, no, four are middle class, and the remaining two are very rich people. So the two rich people use resource very indiscriminately because they are two. The four poor people can't buy, can't afford the resources needed for their survival. And the other four of middle class can't afford very expensive resources that they should have. But these two rich use the resources very indiscriminately to complete their needs. So this is a major problem. Second is accumulation of resources in few hands, which in turn divided the society into two segments. It means haves and have nots, or rich and poor. As I told you before, that these two peoples can, if a thing of is of rupees 1000, poor can't afford, middle class can't afford this amount, but these rich can afford. Suppose that. So if there are four resources available of rupees 1000, so the two rich people will use the all four. So they have this thing, but these two have not. So the society will be divided into this different section that are considered in poor, and this different section that is considered in rich. So it is divided into rich and poor, and the gap uh, does not fills. Okay. Then third problem is indiscriminate exploitation of resources has led to global ecological crisis, just global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. Global warming. It's done when the globally the CO2 level rises. And the main reason is deforestation. Main reason is deforestation. Why? Because the trees capture CO2. If trees are cut, trees are diminished. So CO2 is not trapped. It's in the environment. It rises, and so global warming occurs. Ozone layer depletion is by CFCs, that means chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluoro chlorofluorocarbons. Okay. Uh, like mm, refrigerator. Refrigerator is a resource for human beings Aerosol sprays, room sprays are also a resource. Air conditioners, ACs are for cool air and are a resource for human beings. But they all produce refrigerator, AC, and aerosol sprays. All produce CFCs that are a major that is a major problem for ozone layer depletion. There is a major cause for ozone layer depletion. Next, environmental pollution by petrol, diesel, a resource, but they cause a major pollution in our environment. Okay, so all global ecological crises are due to exploitation of resources, very much use of resources. Okay, so let's move on. Next point, that is, imagine if the oil supply gets exhausted one day. How would this affect our lifestyle? Oil supply gets exhausted, like petrol, diesel are not supplied for a day. So, uh, vehicles that are that need petrol and diesel, that are not electric vehicles, will not work, and so many things that work from oil will not work that day. Second, plan a survey in your colony or village to investigate people's attitude towards recycling of the domestic or agricultural wastes. Ask questions about what do they think about resources they use, and second, what is their opinion about the wastes and its utilization. So this is activity for you. An equitable distribution of resources has become essential for sustained quality of life and global peace. If the present trend of resource depletion by a few individuals and countries continues, the future of our planet is in danger. Therefore, resource planning is essential for sustainable existence of all forms of life. Sustainable existence is a component of sustainable development. Okay? Sustainable development. Sustainable development. Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment, and development in the present should not compromise with the needs of the future generation. This is the definition for sustainable development. Next topic is Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit 1992. In June 1992, more than 100 heads of state met in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the first International Earth Summit. The summit was convened for addressing urgent problems of environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. The assembled leaders signed the Declaration of Global Climatic Change and Biological Diversity. The Rio Convention endorsed the Global Forest Principles and adopted Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in 21st century. So this is, you can say, a short note about Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit. Okay, Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit. This is a very important point, so you can also highlight it. This is a very important. Okay. Year and month you should remember: June 1992. I am highlighting it. June 1992. 100 heads of states met in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the first. It was the first international Earth Summit. International Earth Summit. Okay, and their objectives, reasons for the summit: environmental protection, socio-economic development at global level. Uh, Rio Convention endorsed the Global Forest Principles and adopted Agenda 21. This is an important point, Agenda 21, for achieving sustainable development in 21st century. Okay. Then we will study about Agenda 21. Agenda 21. It is a declaration signed by world leaders in 1992 at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCD, which took place at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It aims, there are aims for it. What are the aims? At achieving global sustainable development. It is an agenda to combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation and common interests, mutual needs and shared responsibilities. And one major objective of the Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. Okay. Coming to the next point, that is resource planning. Planning is the widely accepted strategy for judicious use of resources. It has importance in a country like India, which has enormous diversity in the availability of resources. There are regions which are rich in certain types of resources but are deficient in some other resources. There are some regions which can be considered self sufficient in terms of the availability of resources, and there are some regions which have acute shortage of some vital resources. For example, the states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and rich are rich in minerals and coal deposits. Arunachal Pradesh has abundance of water resources but lacks in infrastructural development. The state of Rajasthan is a very well endowed with solar and wind energy but lacks in water resources. The cold desert of Ladakh is relatively isolated from the rest of the country. It has very rich cultural heritage, but it is deficient in water, infrastructure, and some vital minerals. This calls for balanced resource planning at the national, state, regional, and local levels. There is an activity. Prepare a list of resources found in your state and also identify the resources that are important but deficient in your state. Next topic is uh, resource planning in India. Resource planning is a complex process which involves first identification and inventory of resources across the regions of the country. This involves surveying, mapping, and qualitative and quantitative estimation and measurement of the resources. Firstly, we'll identification. Second is evolving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology, skill, and institutional setup for implementing resource development plans. So, second step you can say is planning. Third, matching the resource development plans with overall national development plans. India has made concerted efforts for achieving the goals of resource planning right from the first 5-year plan launched after independence. The availability of resources is a necessary condition for the development of any region, but mere availability of resources in the absence of corresponding changes in technology and institutions may hinder development. There are many regions in our country that are rich in resources, but these are included in economically backward regions. On the contrary, there are some regions which have poor resource base, but they are economically developed. And then there is a question: can you name some resources rich but economically backward regions, and some resource poor but economically developed regions? Give reasons for such a situation. The history of colonization reveals that rich resources in colonies were the main attractions for the foreign invaders. It was primarily for the higher level of technological development of the colonizing countries that helped them to exploit resources of other regions and establish their supremacy over the colonies. Therefore, resources can contribute to development only when they are accompanied by appropriate technological development and institutional changes. India has experienced all this in different phases of colonization. Therefore, in India, development in general and resource development in particular does not only involve the availability of resources but also the technology, quality of human resources, and in historical experiences of the people. Next is conservation of resources. Resources are vital for any developmental activity, but irrational consumption and overutilization of resources may lead to socio-economic and environmental problems. To overcome these problems, resource conservation at various levels is important. This had been the main concern of the leaders and thinkers in the past. For example, Gandhiji was very apt in voicing his concern about resource conservation in these words: there is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. So this was a quote by Gandhiji. This is also important. He placed the greedy and selfish individuals in exploitative nature of modern technology as the root cause for resource depletion at the global level. He was against mass production and wanted to replace it with the production by masses. At the international level, the Club of Rome advocated resource conservation for the first time in a more systematic way in 1968. Subsequently, in 1974, Gandhian philosophy was once again represented by Schumacher in his book Is Small is Beautiful. The seminal contribution with respect to resource conservation at the global level was made by the Brundtland Commission Report, 1987. This report introduced the concept of sustainable development and advocated it as a measure for resource conservation, which was subsequently published in a book entitled Our Common Future. Another significant contribution was made at the Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 1992, that you studied earlier. Next topic is land resources. Okay. We live on land, we perform our economic activities on land, and we use it in different ways. Thus, land is a natural resource of utmost importance. It supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport, and communication systems. However, land is an asset of a finite magnitude, therefore, it is important to use the available land for various purposes with careful planning. India has land under a variety of relief features, namely mountains, plateaus, plains, and islands. About 43% of the land area is plain, which provides facilities for agriculture and industry. Mountains account for 30% of the total surface area of the country and ensure perennial flow of some rivers, provide facilities for tourism and ecological aspects. About 27% of the area of country is the plateau region. It possesses rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels, and forests. Next topic is land utilization. It means land uses. Land resources are used for following purposes. First, forest. Second, land not available for cultivation, like barren and wasteland, or land put to non-agricultural uses. It means buildings, roads, factories. Third, other uncultivated land excluding fallow land, permanent pastures and grazing land, land under miscellaneous tree crops, groups, and next cultivable waste land left uncultivated for more than 5 agricultural years. Fourth is fallow lands, current fallow left without cultivation for one or less than one agricultural year. B, other than current fallow left uncultivated for the past 1 to 5 agricultural years. Okay. So this is your land utilization. Next is fifth number is net sown area. The physical extent of land on which crops are sown harvested is known as net sown area. Area sown more than once in an agricultural year plus net sown area is known as gross cropped area. So it is a very important term here, that is area sown more than once in an agricultural year plus net sown area is known as gross cropped area. Okay. Next topic is land use pattern in India. The use of land is determined both by physical factors such as topography, climate, soil types, as well as human factors such as population, density, technological capability, and culture and traditions, etc. It is a graph, you can say pie chart, of general land use categories in 1960 to 61, and this is for 2015 to 14 to 15. Total geographical area of India is 3.28 million square kilometer. Land use data, however, is available only for 93% of total geographical area because the land use reporting for most of the northeast states except Assam has not been done fully. Moreover, some areas of Jammu and Kashmir occupied by Pakistan and China have also not been surveyed. This activity try to do a comparison between two pie charts given for a land use and find out why the net zone area and land under forest have changed from 1960 to 61 to 14 2014 to 15 very marginally. The land under permanent pasture has also decreased. How are we able to feed our huge cattle population in on this pasture land, and what are the consequences of it? Most of the other than current fallow lands are either of poor quality or the cost of cultivation of such land is very high. Hence, these lands are cultivated once or twice in about 2 to 3 years, and if these are included in the net sown area, then the percentage of NSA in India comes to about 54% of the total reporting area. The pattern of net sown area varies greatly from one state to another. It is over 80% of total area in Punjab and Haryana and less than 10% in Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Question is, find out reasons for the low proportion of net sown area in these states. Forest area in the country is far lower than the desired 33% of the geographical area, as it was outlined in the National Forest Policy 1952. It was considered essential for maintenance of ecological balance. The livelihood of millions of people who live on the fringes of these forests depend upon it. A part of the land is termed as wasteland and land put to other non agricultural uses. Wasteland includes rocky, arid, and desert areas, and land put to other non agricultural uses include settlements, roads, railways, industry, etc. Continuous use of land over a long period of time without taking appropriate measures to conserve and manage it has resulted in land degradation. This, in turn, has serious repercussions on society and the environment. Next topic is land degradation and conservation measures. We have shared our land with the past, one second, with the past generations and will have to do so for the with the future generations too. 95% of our basic needs for food, shelter, and clothing are obtained from land. Human activities have not only brought about degradation of land but have also aggravated the pace of natural forces to cause damage to land. Some human activities such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining, and quarrying to have contributed significantly in land degradation. Mining sites are abandoned after excavation work is completed, leaving deep scars and traces over botany. In states like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Odisha, deforestation due to mining have caused severe land degradation. In states like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and the Maharashtra, overgrazing is one of the main reasons for land degradation. In the states of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, over irrigation is responsible for land degradation due to the water logging, leading to increase in salinity and alkalinity in the soil. The mineral processing like grinding of limestone for cement industry and uh, calcite and soapstone for ceramic industry generate huge quantity of dust in the atmosphere. It retards the process of infiltration of water into the soil after it settles down on the land. In recent years, industrial influence as waste have become a major source of land and water pollution in many parts of the country. There are many ways to solve the problems of land degradation. Afforestation and proper management of grazing can help to some extent. Planting of shelter belts of plants, control or overgrazing, uh, stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes are some of the methods to check land degradation in arid areas. Proper management of wasteland, control of over mining activities, proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents, and waste after treatment can reduce land and water degradation in industrial and uh, suburban areas. Next topic is soil as a resource. Okay. Soil is the most important renewable natural resource. It is the medium of plant growth and supports different types of living organisms on the earth. The soil is a living system. It takes millions of years to form soil up to a few centimeters in depth. Relief pattern, parent rock or bedrock, climate, vegetation, and other forms of life and time are important factors in the formation of soil. Various forces of nature, such as change in temperature, actions of running water, wind and glaciers, activities of decomposers, etc., contribute to the formation of soil. Chemical and organic changes which take place in the soil are equally important. Soil also consists of organic, humus, and inorganic materials. On the basis of factors responsible for soil formation, color, thickness, texture, age, chemical, and physical properties, the soil of India are classified in different types. Classification of soils. Okay. India has variedly features, landforms, climate, realms, and vegetation types. These have contributed in the development of various types of soils. So, first is alluvial soil, and second is black soil, third is red and yellow soil, fourth is laterite soil, next arid soil. Okay, and then types of soil are finished. Okay. So let's study alluvial soil. This is the most widely spread and important soil. In fact, the entire northern plains are made of alluvial soil. These have been deposited by three important Himalayan river systems, the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. The soils also extend in Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor. Alluvial soil is also found in the eastern coastal plains, particularly in the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, and Krishna and Kaveri rivers. The alluvial soil consists of various proportions of sand, silt, and clay. As we move inlands toward the river valleys, soil particles appear somewhat bigger in size. In the upper reaches of river valley, it means near the place of break of slope, the soil are coarse. Such soils are more common in predominant. Sorry, what is here? Yes, common in Piedmont plains such as Duars, Chos, and Tarai. Apart from the size of their grains or components, soil are also described on the basis of their age. According to their age, alluvial soils can be classified as old alluvial, bhangar, and new alluvial, khadar. The Bhangar soil has a higher concentration of conquered nodules than the Khadar. It has more fine particles and is more fertile than Bhangar. Alluvial soils as a whole are very fertile. Mostly these soil contain adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid and lime, which are ideal for growth of sugarcane, paddy, wheat and other cereal and pulse crops. Due to its high fertility, regions of alluvial soils are intensively cultivated and densely populated. Soils in the drier areas are more alkaline and can be productive after proper treatment and irrigation. Next is black soil. These soils are black in color and are also known as Rager soils. Black soil is ideal for growing cotton and is also known as black cotton soil. It is believed that climatic condition along with apparent rock material are important factors for the formation of black soil. This type of soil is typical of Deccan Trap basalt region spread over northwest Deccan Plateau and is made of lava flows. They cover the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. The and extend in the southeast direction along the Godavari and Krishna valleys. The black soils are made of extremely fine, it means clay material. They are well known for their capacity to hold moisture. In addition, they are rich in soil nutrients such as calcium, carbonate, magnesium, potash, and lime. These soils are generally poor in phosphoric contents, and here is the map for where are forests and mountains, like, and where are alluvial soil, where is red and yellow soil, where is black soil, laterite soil, and arid soil. Okay, they develop deep cracks during hot weather, which helps in the proper aeration of soil. These soil are sticky when wet and difficult to work unless stilled immediately after the first shower or during the pre-monsoon period. Next is red and yellow soils. Red soil develops on crystalline igneous rocks in areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau. Yellow and red soils are also found in the parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and southern parts of the Middle Ganga Plain and along the Piedmont zone of Western Ghats. These soils develop a reddish color due to diffusion of iron in crystalline metamorphic rocks. It looks yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. Next is laterite soil. Laterite has been derived from Latin word later, which means brick. The laterite soil develops under tropical and subtropical climate with alternate wet and dry season. This soil is a result of intense leaching due to the heavy rain. Lateritic soils are mostly deep to very deep. Acidic, pH is less than 6. Generally deficient in plant nutrients and occur mostly in southern states. Western Ghats region of Maharashtra, Odisha, some part of West Bengal and Northeast regions, where these soils support deciduous and evergreen forests. It is humus rich but under sparse vegetation, and in semi-arid environment it is generally humus poor. They are prone to erosion and degradation due to their position on the landscape. After adopting appropriate soil conservation techniques, particularly in the hilly areas of Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu, this soil is very useful for growing tea and coffee. Red laterite soils in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala are more suitable for crops like cashew nut. Next is arid soils. Arid soils range from red to brown in color. They are generally sandy in texture and saline in nature. In some areas, the salt content is very high and common salt is obtained by evaporating the water. Due to dry climate, high temperature, evaporation is faster and the soil lacks humus and moisture. The lower horizons of soil are occupied by conquered because of the increasing calcium content downwards. The conquer layer formation in the bottom horizons restrict the infiltration of the water. After proper irrigation, these soils become cultivable as has been in the case of Western Rajasthan. Next is forest soil. I have missed forest soil, sorry. These soils are found in hilly and mountainous areas where sufficient rain and forests are available. The soil texture varies according to the mountain environment where they are formed. They are loamy and silty in valley sides and coarse grained in the upper slopes and the snow covered areas of Himalayas. These soils experience denudation and are acidic with low humus content. The soils found in lower parts of the valley, particularly on the river terraces and alluvial fans, are fertile. Soil erosion and soil conservation. The denudation of soil cover and subsequent washing down is described as soil erosion. The process of soil formation and erosion occurs simultaneously, and generally there is a balance between two. Sometimes this balance is disturbed due to human activities like deforestation, overgrazing, construction, and mining, etc. While natural forces like wind, glacier, and water led to soil erosion. The running water cuts through the clay soils and makes deep channels as gullies. The land becomes unfit for cultivation and is known as bad land. In the Chambal Basin, such lands are called ravines. Sometimes water flows as a sheet over large areas down a slope. In such cases, the top soil is washed away. This is known as sheet erosion. Wind blows loose soil off flat off or sloping land known as wind erosion. Soil erosion is also caused due to defective methods of farming. Plowing in a wrong way, it means up and down the slope form channels for the quick flow of water leading to soil erosion. Plowing along the contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. This is called contour plowing. Steps can be cut out on the slopes, making terraces. Terrace cultivation restricts erosion. Western and central Himalayas has well developed terrace farming. Large fields can be divided into strips. Strips grass are left to grow between the crops. This breaks up the force of wind. This method is known as strip cropping. Planting lines of trees to create shelter also works in a similar way. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. These shelter belts have contributed significantly to the stabilization of sand dunes and in stabilizing the desert in western India. And hence your chapter is finished. Thanks for